co-founder of International Development Alliance, which is an institute or which is a collective that he founded. He has dedicated his life and vulnerable for the services of vulnerable communities across continents, combining grassroots actions with diplomatic leadership to bring peace, dignity, and hope to those who often are forgotten. Christophe will be talking about his journey, and today specifically, Christophe has published a book along with a very dear Abdul Karim, who is a Pakistani from 𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀, building bridges beyond borders, finding commonalities, possibilities of reconciliations between Pakistani society and the French society.
You know the situation of Muslims in France and how they are, victimized or victim of nation profiling. And being elected, actually, we're going to have a lot of elections, for mayors and presidential. And we can see that the French society is starting to be completely divided, turned into communitarism. And it's something when you're elected, you cannot stand. Because years ago, everybody was getting along extremely well. But now, with this dumb talk of the extreme right, and the press, and minds that are being completely turned into, I don't know what, but people don't know how to think, to analyze. That's the baddest effect of internet and all those tools that make people reading less, listening less, and absorbing everything they can absorb. So I saw beautiful pictures, vlog made by Abdul Karim on YouTube. That's the magic of YouTube. And I was stunned by the beauty of 𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃 because that was not the image we have of you. I mean, the only image we have is a woman dressed in black from head to toes, and violent from you, or the Muslim here persecuting Christians. That's it, full stop, nothing else. But when I was young, my grandmother was very good friend with the third wife of the Aga Khan. So in my years, I always heard about positive things about Islam. So when I saw his video, things connect in my mind with my memories and what I see that. And the videos of Karim, I said it many times, but usually vloggers, they take themselves in the mix of something. You don't see him in his vlog. He's showing humble people, shepherds, people living, people welcoming him. And I said, that's a nice approach of life that he's trying to say. And, when it's against the stream to go to Pakistan, and before I leave, people say, are you sure you want to go? Please come back safe. Not knowing that I was in Ukraine 2 years ago and I had bombs above my head. So I don't have fear of anything in life, and especially if there are walls in front of me, I want to break this wall and to see what's behind the wall. So we met with Karim, to make it brief, because you are going to ask me a question. And then I was so stunned by the openness of the people. In this village, I was welcome. We dance at night with the men, and etc. We've done the entire thing. And I was stunned by the beauty, by the kindness, and I said, so I was right. There is an Islam which is open, welcoming, and even if you have issues, interfaith dialogue and inter-community dialogue works. I mean, you're all trying to do something. And the civil society is very much involved. In France, the problem is that everybody is waiting that the state is going to do everything. And so people are becoming lazy and they don't take charge. Here I met very wealthy people, poor people, at all levels. People are trying to do good for their neighborhood, their community, other communities. So I thought it was really admirable. So in the mix with Karim, I say, I'm Catholic, he's a Muslim, so it's a great match. We have to do something. So we come up with this idea to interview 23 major personalities of Pakistan, including this gentleman on my right. Because one of my friends, 𝐷𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃, he was the cultural counselor at the French embassy, and he opened his address book. You see how things are very funny, because I wanted to go to Pakistan. I didn't know André. Then my niece get married. he was invited. He stayed only 1 hour. And he said, "You're going to Pakistan? That's names to." So anyway, so that was August a year ago. Then I came back in March. So in the mix, there is us, Salima Hashimi, Sajid Davandal, 𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃, who is the CEO of the Aga Khan Trust for Culture. We have a lot of intellectual, but I wanted to have some Catholic, Anglican, Protestant. So then when I come back, I can say, you see, you have the words of Catholic who say that they can get along. And you know, last night we met Father John Channon, who is the Dominican, at the Avari Hotel. And it was so funny because he came with another Dominican and a Protestant, and he met an Anglican. So it was, you know, interface in front of my eyes. And in between those statements, there are beautiful pictures taken by Abdul Karim and one of his friends of 𝗵𝗃𝗵𝗃 so people can see how the nature is beautiful. So instead of having a question answer that could be boring, Karim was very talented in rewriting things. So we reshape the statement so that you can read them one by one like it's a novel. And all the words are very deep and profound. So it's not something you can read with like you scan it. You know, I want something deep, so that in France people can read it and again and try to understand things without starting to see through their own French lenses, if I can say so. So that's more or less the concept. The second concept is that I told you I was in Ukraine 2 years ago, and at that time situation was not nice. I made a documentary over there, and I published a book with the same shape. It's called Art and Culture at Times of War, to see how Ukrainians are resilient through art. So during the day, opera is open, theaters are open, you have musicians in the street, musicians in the park. Everything is for free. So the first day we arrived, we were in a restaurant, and you know, on your mobile, when you have drones and bomb alerts, your mobile is ringing bzz, 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 3 times. And nobody was moving. I said, okay, so nobody's going down in the subway. And I asked my neighbors why. He said, if we do that, that means Putin has still control on us. So we want life to continue, whatever, if we have to die, we will die. So they were playing chess. Some guys were selling books, just regular life. That was stunning. So we decided to stay out. And so we shoot beautiful. You have a lot of worldwide known artists who went to Kyiv discreetly to paint some beautiful murals here and there. All kind of artists, graphers, painters, pochoirs, I don't know the word in English for that. But so that was very lovely. And then I made some conference. Over there, asked what can I do to help. And I met a non-for-profit who is art therapy force to cure people for post-traumatic shock. Because in times of war, the wife of Zelensky got money from the EU to build center to cure post-traumatic shock. But as the war goes along, she can't do it. So I decided with the money that I will raise with the book and this one, to buy a double-deck bus. At the first floor, you will have art therapy for the kids, and on the upper floor, you will have psychiatrists to follow. And then this bus can go on a regular basis near the war zone, so they can do a follow-up. Then Palestine came, and I thought it was relevant, you know, Karim being Muslim, to do the exactly same. So it's not a question of politics or whatever, it's pure innocent suffering. And as I said before, when I was 23 years old, I was managing a hotel in Paris. First, I went to work in refugees camp at the time of the Cambodian genocide. So all the Cambodians are fleeing to Thailand, and I stayed over there 3 weeks in obstetric. And after that, I said, I want to go to Cambodia because the borders were closed. The Vietnamese didn't want anyone to get in. I don't know if it's God or who drained me over there. Something in the newspaper was written on what I've done in the refugees camp. Then somebody read the article. They said, I want to help you. What can I do? And I said, I want to go to Cambodia. And she said, but my husband has trained the actual Vietnamese ambassador when he was in Indochina. I can help you to go to Cambodia. So I raised money, I raised medicine and everything, and I said to my parents, now I want to go. And they told me, so Christophe, we taught you to do things for others, but you're going way too far for us. You're under control. Do whatever you do, but we won't give you a dime. And you know, when things have to happen, they happen, because I don't know if it was my innocence shining from me, but I ended up in the office of the director of Air France, you know, the airline company. So he looked at me and he said, this guy looks or naive or whatever. And he said, I'm offering you the plane ticket and I'm offering you the freight for free. Oh. So I was forced to go. But then when I land over there, so I make it short, I spent 3 weeks in Cambodia, so I saw the killing fields. I was with someone from the Minister of Culture. She was a lady. She was following me, and once we were in a huge field, I can see bones and everything, smell, but quiet nature, only birds singing. And I looked at her, and she said, my husband and my 8 children are there. No tears in her eyes. Then after that, I visited the jails where they were tortured. You know, in Cambodia, 6 million people, 3 million were killed by the other 3 for purely political communist reasons. So when you see that, and when you're 23 in Paris, living in a wealthy family, etc., say that's how the world goes, doesn't make sense. So it has only been in my heart. So I managed hotel in Paris, and at one point, then during my vacation, I went to Africa. I work in villages where you have a lot of people with leprosis and everything. And at one time, I think you can't balance your life between Paris and those countries. So I was very well paid. So I decided to save my economy and to open an art center in Burkina Faso. There I train young kids in art, painting, sculpture, design. So using local material, but having them designing stuff adjust to our taste, the size of our apartment and everything, so they can make a living. So we work for big brands like Louis Vuitton, Hermès, department store, and those guys were coming from the villages. They were not speaking French. But I don't know if it's the fact that they were not going to school, but they were thinking in 3Ds. So they were able to design a stool in their mind, to cut the iron and to shape it. So I had many students doing art school. They came with a computer, you know, designing the thing in 3D, and they were stunned. So it was economically, they were extremely independent. They made a lot of money. And we also welcome kids at risk in America, who are African American, who are in gangs, to have them come in Africa. So then from minority, they becoming majority. And young African were able to train young American, which was reversing everything. And the young African American, when they were going back to America, they were in tears. Wow. And they were telling the others, well, don't go in America because you will be victim of racism, etc. So I decided to jump, you know, and ended up, you know, in Africa. So the cause of others, the cause of poverty is down deep in my heart. So Palestine, Ukraine, it resonates the same way for me. And we have to do something. The long term of the project is to do those 2 centers, mind-changing cultural centers, one in his village and one is mine. And to have this concept of going beyond borders. So under below the title, it's the brilliance of Pakistan. So I want to show that in Pakistan, there are some brilliant minds. Because each journey of all of those people, the first thing was to ask them what they have been through, what they have faced, what's their knowledge, because we have historians, we have architects, so 𝗵𝗲 Bajwa is an architect. We have several profiles, and we were extremely touched by Adnan's story. I think it was very relevant to have it, as well as all the priests in it, because it can work at 2 levels. It can be for the youth of Pakistan, then they have the mirror of your society today, people who can be example, because when you're young, I think you can't force yourself on nothing. You need example, people you admire, or people you read or you listen to. So all of them can be. We have women who have been victim of violence from their husband. who have been recognized by the Supreme Court. All the men of the village have supported her. So we have extraordinary statement, and then they can, in the mind of people in the West, they can change the mindset on your culture, on your country. And so the book will be published in French in March. So then we will have a French version of it. And in English as well, because then I will go to the Pakistani embassy in Paris, in the one in London. And yesterday we met a pastor who is in Canada, and said the Pakistani community is very important, so we want to go there. And to finally, because Adnan was there at the Think Fest, I talked to the representative of the Pope before I leave in Paris, and he said, because the first word of this book was building bridges between religion. And we have chosen the title of our book before. So when he heard that, he said, send me the book when you come back. If it's relevant, I'll send it to the Vatican. And you know the symbol of Karim and myself in this world completely chaotic with crazy leaders, war every day. People, there is no international law. You do whatever you want, when you want. You kill people when you want. I mean, this morning someone sent me a video of Iran. I mean, 12,000 people were killed in 2 days. That doesn't make sense. And who is standing against that? So what we do is very humble, and we are not going to change the world. But it's a drop in the ocean. At least there is an image of people from different background, religion, culture, whatever, doing something for the good. And Pakistan is the object of it. Because I don't think in the world there is a country that, even with Karim, we have a site. So people can buy on the site. Even the Pakistani rupee is not accepted.
Oh.
Exactly. Oh, that's what I said. Oh, the Indian rupee is accepted, Malaysian, weird countries, but not the Pakistani rupee. Why? So you see, so that's symptomatic of what the work you have to do. So now the book is done. The baton is in your society. So we met some people from the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So all the ambassadors should have this book to show your society nowadays and offer it to the people where they are. Tomorrow we'll meet someone from Punjab who is in the education system. So they can have books in library, etc. Yesterday we were at 𝐁𝐿𝐻, great moment with the Minister of Minorities. Archbishop John Malik was there, lots of personality, great moment, great talk with lots of girls. So that's what I like, being with you. It shows that, and at one point somebody said, but what was the topic of your conversation with Karim, where your different are? And I said, I've traveled a lot, but there is no difference at all between him and me when it comes to such subject. There's no talk, no fight, everything is smooth and easy. That shows clearly that what you said at start, that whatever the religion, it's what defines us culturally, because we are born there. In Africa, they are animists, Before going to the market, she has a little temple in the court, she puts some eggs, thinking that will protect her. She goes to the market, she comes back, and she thinks that, it went smooth because of that. But beyond that, we're all human beings. So it's hard to break all those walls, but we have to break them. And the more you travel, the more you get it.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Thank you. This is extensive answer, of course, and a lot of questions were answered in this one question. Since you are a politician, and being a politician, you told me that you've been elected 3 times.
Yes.
And you've been a mayor from last 18 years. Being a politician, if there is racism, there is Islamophobia against Pakistan and the people of Pakistan, don't you think that being a politician, it is going against your interest to take up something like this? What could be your motive to take this kind of challenge, where you could be people could actually go against you and they will not give you the vote?
Oh, I don't mind. So welcome.
Thank you.
First, being a politician in France, especially in a rural area, we're not labeled. You know, I can't be labeled, I'm here or I'm there. You know, my life, I didn't plan to be elected. You know, I was managing hotel. I'm a sculptor also. I'm working on bronze. So, you know, I turned to be a sculptor when I was in Africa training all those artists. So when I came back to France after 15 years, I ended up in this village. And of course, when there's somebody new in the village, everybody say, oh, maybe he can be the mayor. And I said, well, that's a new challenge. I never think of it. And because I have this kind of artsy background, and they all know what I've done, humanitarian point of view, so that gives me credit. And I said, well, I have to shake this village and bring culture, bring sport for everybody, so people, they all can grow up, because otherwise they will stay in that mud without, you know, being real human beings. So that was my challenge. So after that, yes, to answer you, I know it's against the mainstream to do that. So I may have threats in some way. I don't mind, because when you're 69, that I am, what can I do? I'm not defined by my social position. Being a mayor is nothing. Being elected is nothing. It's what I do with my humanity and my faith that leads me. I want to be dedicated to that cause and other causes that we have in mind with Abdul Karim for the following 15 years.
And the next question would be, usually if we see in a society like Pakistan, a country like Pakistan, someone like you showing this concern, people may have this idea, this notion, and they may have even asked you that maybe you have this Eurocentric vision of seeing Pakistan. I'm sorry for asking this difficult question, but these could be the question that people may have had in their mind. That you have your sort of Eurocentric and Western angle, that you want to see the world, a civilized world, a civilized version of human being, which is more acceptable in the European standards, which is more acceptable in the Western lifestyles. So, are you trying to imply, are you trying to insinuate those kind of image of Pakistan, or you are ready to see even accept the difference as a different
Of course.
on equal basis?
Yeah, we have the kind of the same question when we were in Islamabad. Somebody asked me this question, and yesterday I met a military guy, and he said, I like your book because we don't see you in the book. Because nothing from me or Karim appears in the book. We give you the platform to talk about you. So you made the book. I didn't doubt you. The questions were the same for everyone, but they were the most neutral question you can have.
Yeah.
And you made out of it what you want to make it. So I don't have any intention other than to show some brilliant minds. They can be Pakistani, Indian, or whatever. That's my only will.
Thank you. This is such an encouraging answer, I must say. So the next question could be, what was your motivation or inspiration to take up this kind of challenge? Is it your faith-based idea that you wanted to contribute in this way, or some other motivation, or someone told you, or do you have some inspiration in your life?
Well, if we want to talk faith, yeah, I think it's faith. I think I had a call because I didn't land in Cambodia like this. So I had a strong call that was way stronger than I can ever think of. So that leads me. So that's why I had problem to find my space in society, because I wasn't planned to be a priest or whatever. I'm not an artist, I'm not a politician, I just want to be me. So it's now that I can be me. You see, which is very relaxing. That's why I can talk freely. But yes, I grew up as a Catholic, but we are a secular country. So that doesn't, that I'm not going to church on every Sunday. I pray whenever I want. I go to a church, I put candles. So I'm more free because towards ritual, I prefer inner peace, inner prayers and everything. But I don't think without, faith, I could have achieved that. I mean, if someone hasn't led me to all those places, unexpected, even my brothers and sisters, they are in Paris, they grew up in Paris, their family in Paris. Everybody's, they are very classical life. I'm completely out of the picture. And I really, I don't see any moment where I took the decision. Things were placed in front of me, and I was, I think, open enough to say, well, that's what God wants me to be. Humbly, I say that. I mean, meeting Karim through a vlog, a video, is surreal. I mean, how come me being there, going to see somebody in GB, in a remote village, as he said, there's no rational reason. So if there is not something mysterious that leads, and everything went so smooth, the book and everything, and now we're welcome everywhere by only extremely nice and welcoming people. We only hear nice words that we don't take for us, but that we take for you all in the book. Yesterday in Kinnard, I mean, the people who have read the book, we were moved by their reaction, and by all of you, that the statement that they read. So that was beyond our expectation, because now we are the next step. Now we are doing raising money for the buses, etc., and we have the cultural center in mind. So we are step furthers. But still, it's wonderful. It's just like when I'm doing the sculpture. I've done the sculpture, and I saw a woman really in tears in front of the sculpture. And I said, damn, I have this gift to give emotion to people, like any artist. And I didn't interrupt her, and she didn't explain me why, but she bought the sculpture straight on the top. That's the magic of art. So a book, it's the same. So yes, I know I may have some death threats from the extreme, but I have the answer, and I'm ready to do it.
So before I ask the next question, so by that, when you mentioned multiple times that you may have threats from the extreme, the other side. So by that mean the extreme can be found anywhere in any country. It is not specific to a religion. It is not specific to a region. It is not specific to a country.
It's just men who haven't solved the violence they have inside, and then they go for it. So it can be the extreme Muslim, I'm thinking, but even the extreme right, the extreme Catholic that we have in France as well. Say, Christophe, why are you doing this? You see? So yes, I think it's just people who haven't solved anything, didn't understand anything about life. So we have to pray for them to find peace, inner peace. So I think that's the complexity of human being. Until that everybody hasn't solved the violence that they have inside, there will still be war, small war or big war. And in France we have a tradition in January, we'll call the wishes. So you invite all the people and you say best wishes for the new year, you go to the next village, blah, 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 blah. And at the end, I say, I'm going to tell you something very cheesy, because we're in a secular country. So I don't say it comes from the Bible or the Quran, say, love yourself as you love each other, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. So just love yourself. That's the only way we can be peace at a small level. The level where all the leaders are, we can't do anything. I want to go to Ukraine, but even the French embassy told me it's worse than when I was over there. So now they think that they can't tell me to come, because if something is happening to me, the blame will be on us. But they suggest that I take the decision myself, and I will go, because I need to give the book that I made to the people who are in the book. It was the same concept, more or less, and to show the documentary that I shoot over there. Nothing brave, because those people are dying and suffering every day. Same for Palestine. Palestine is more complicated to go now, because crazy Netanyahu hasn't finished his whatever he called. So genocide, the genocide, and that was shocking me, because when I was in Cambodia, so we're talking about 79, 80. Then when I was in Africa, you had Rwanda in a week. 900,000 people were chopped by machete. Ethnic thing. Because only the blame to the West, because you had one ethnic who were the Tutsi, they were the kings, and to break the social code, they decided to give the power to the Hutus. So the Hutus were in power, and it's just like, in France, the Protestant and the Catholic, at the time of Henry III, of course the Tutsi wants to get revenge. And the Hutu, the president of the Hutu president was killed in a plane. So the bombing of the plane was probably made by the Belgium or the French, we don't know. And then the Hutu were afraid to be then killed by the Tutsi. So they decided to go down and to chop everyone. Blood. And then in Europe, same, Serbia, Croatia, genocide. And again. So it seems that men don't learn from history. They don't learn by the holy books, whatever the Bible, the Quran, or the Torah. So that shouldn't be, it's not acceptable at all. So we have, it's an endless process.
So by asking this, earlier you mentioned that you didn't find motivation or inspiration from an individual person.
Yes.
God guided you, gave you the way. But by giving these interviews of these incredible people, excluding me, these incredible people in this book, by sharing their story, do you expect that people or youngsters, both in Pakistan and in France or anywhere, whoever would read this book, would find something inspirational from these stories? And if yes, how and why?
Okay. Now, just go back. Yes, faith has guided me, but there is one person who has inspired me a lot. I had an aunt. She had a daughter, and once her daughter fell from something and was crippled, and the daughter died when she was 20, and she was extremely wealthy, and so her life doesn't have any sense at all. So she decided, it was at the time with the war between Vietnam, North Vietnam and South Vietnam. So the Russian with the North, the American with the South. So she was bringing medicine and everything to the North as well as to the South. But she was a very wealthy woman, secure, aristocratic family, etc., etc. And when I heard about her, so she was taking a jeep, going to the North to take care of the village people, because they didn't have any medicine and everything. So I truly admire her. And at the end of the war, she was the last person in South Vietnam before the Viet Cong attack. And as she was so good to them, and the rest of the world was not good to their people, they came to her house. They said, we are going to attack, but you're such a wonderful people. We want to take you in a plane so you don't die in the bombing. And so she has inspired me as a woman with a strong will. So when I went back into Cambodia, I met some people who remember her.
Wow.
So that's it. So I think when you're young, you need example, as I said. So I think all those people can shape the youth of Pakistan. Because what reference you have, I don't know if the youth has any reference, actual reference. In France we had a time of a lot of intellectual, humanitarian, that we heard about, etc., etc. I don't know if you have them, but in this book, at least you have some journey of people who are fearless, who have faced, toughness of life, violence, and who are resilient. You have historians, so they are explaining history, architecture in a nice angle, and the beauty of human being, the beauty of humanity, and how you can learn about the history of people and have the image of all the people who have touched this subject, like Dr. Nadwa, she's teaching at LUMS, and what she's saying is brilliant.
You've developed, and what is the motto for this international alliance?
Well, the motto is the project that's going to frame.
I'm sorry, but on a lighter note, when we see any European showing concern for us, it's just like that we've been robbed multiple times. We just think whenever there is some kind of alliance like the peace table right now, it is another kind of alliance shared by Mr. Donald Trump. So, so we think of maybe some other agendas. So, what does that international alliance mean? Sorry, have no doubt about your intentions.
No. I'm fine. You know, it's more like
I'm asking questions that people may have had. So it will be recorded.
There is nothing political behind that. It's a global concept to do projects to bring interaction, interfaith, intercommunity dialogue, full stop. So the first country is Pakistan. Then we can go somewhere else. So it's global. That's why it's alliance. So there is no agenda, nothing to prove, nothing to defend, but you have to start by something. And at that point of my life, and because I met Karim, I said, let's start by doing this. So it's the first stone of a wall. But then we were thinking, if we can do a book with Jewish and Palestinian. I met a Palestinian journalist, French speaking. After a long time with his wife, he arrived in France. So I was speaking about Ukraine, he was speaking about Palestine. He was saying that his house was bombed by the Israelis, and his wife, fortunately, was at his mother's place. He was under the house for 3 days, but his hand was outside, so they were able to pull him out. But his 4 kids died in the bombing, from 5 to 13. First words, we were so happy that their body were full in shape. Most fear that they were, explode, and that the neighbor will bring the head or the arm and everything. So we were in peace because they die in peace. Resilience. And then we are forgiving. We are forgiving. We are close to the Jewish mother who still has been chopped down or raped by the Hamas. So we want our children to have died, that peace will come out of it. So you had a huge silence in the room. I looked at the wife, no tears in the eye, smiling, joyful. That was extremely impressive. So that can be another book. So you see, but that's very useful. People are still paying attention to words and everything. I don't have the capacity to go beyond. It's just a global concept. We're not in any box. And I'm not in any box, and I don't want to be placed in any box, like in France. Politically, everybody say, where are you? I say, I'm a humanitarian, I'm nowhere. I'm here for human beings. So it's just, you need to find a name, and there are so many names, but names doesn't mean anything. It's what feeds the project that counts. So that's the steps we are going to follow that will feed the concept. Then people will understand what it is. So we are already intellectually on the next step. I hope I answered you.
I'm sorry, this has been an incredible answer, and that's what I was expecting from someone like you. I'm sorry for asking some hard questions as well, because
no, but it's interesting. It's challenging. Don't forget, English is not my language. I'm going to answer in French. Then you will be stuck.
All right. So I would give the mic to the audience, but before that, my last question would be. These are the few interviews that you've taken from these incredible people who have done incredible work in their whole life. The impact, then when we see the hatred, this racism, this Islamophobia or any xenophobia, or whatever you may call, it's on the rise. The current decade, the current time is very difficult. If we talk about the impact, someone must have asked you, what are you going to achieve with this one book? With how many people are going to read this? How many people will have an impact out of this? What are your expectations in terms of impact building from this? If you are expecting any impact.
Well, I think you know what I'm going to answer.
Yeah,
I think
I want you to...
when you do something in life, it's just like when you do an art exhibition. You don't know if one person is going to come, if 200 people are going to come, if you'll sell, or if you're not going to sell. So I'm not doing something for me, so I don't have any expectation. I'm achieving something. After that, we have to work with Karim, because don't forget, it's our book, but it's your book too, it's everybody's book. We are going to fight to have the more books, embassy, education, and everything. So the more books are sold, so this book will have touch more people, then they can learn from it. So no expectation of numbers. I mean, funnily, we say we want to start by 50,000, and if we reach 100,000, it will be wonderful. We don't know. But it can be or zero, or it can be a big fire, a big tsunami, which we are going to work on, because believe me, in Europe, I'm going to work hard on it. You know, there's a new mayor in New York, he's Pakistani origin, in London. So I'm going to work hard on my part of it, you know, to promote the book. And I will see who is reacting. But maybe you know the Catholic, because that's why I wanted to have Anglican, Protestant, and Catholic in the book, because then they say, of course, as a minority, things are not necessarily easy for us, but we get along.
Yeah.
We get along. There is interfaith and inter-community dialogue, which is something we don't have in France. So even politicians in France, if they're honest, they can learn from the book. So if they're honest, they will say thank you, blah, blah, blah. But you know, even the book on Ukraine, it's not the politician that was expected that bought the book. So that's the magic of life. You know, the light doesn't necessarily come from the side where you're expecting it. So you just have to let it go. And so I have to teach that to Karim, who is impatiently saying we have to do this and da, 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 da. I say, let it go. You know, times
Take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy. You know, times God is not our time. So you have to be very humble when you do something, but you have to work, you know, to promote it, to defend it, and to convince people.
I do consider myself an optimist person, but I must say that I am nowhere in front of your optimism, which is absolutely overflowing, mashallah. And it's very inspiring, and more power to you, more power to all the sane voices who wants to contribute positively. This was from my side. Now I would like audience to ask any question that they may have.
Any type of question.
Yeah, anything.
What do I have for breakfast in France? What's the best movie I saw?
So I have a question
Yes.
about culture. So how did you find the culture of Pakistan? Is it a unique culture or multicultural country by comparing your own French culture? Or
Sham is an incredible Punjabi short story writer.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very promising, and it's truly a pleasure. And this kind of question I can expect only from someone like you.
Well, I didn't have the chance to visit everything in Pakistan, but as far as I read and learned from the statements of all the people in the book, I know you're a multicultural country. So it's something, you're right. Well, in France, we have different regions, and they're trying to stay strong to this culture, but it fades a little bit compared to you. So we can't compare or we can't judge because you're a young democracy. You know, our democracy is much, lasts for much longer. So we can't compare. But yes, you're multicultural for me. And I like all the event that people from different culture are trying to organize to make people, but it's difficult for your country, which is so long, to create link between strong ethnical background, to have this feeling of becoming a state. It's difficult. In France, we have been a state for the king, blah, blah, blah. We go back to history. So that's why it fades a little bit to a more a French temper, mood, culture. So we are more united by our intellectual, our history, our monuments, than strong cultural identity. You know, in my region, I can't really define what makes us different from people 100 or 200 kilometers away. I don't see any difference because we all speak French. Maybe Brittany, they kept dialogue. Southwest, they keep dialogue, but they don't. It's not at school. They don't speak it together. French is uniting us, so it's different. But that's your richness, you know. After that, you know, being that rich, you have to understand what it is to be Pakistani, and you know, to become what a state. But you know, when I was with the girl, I mean, now you have you have to be proud of being Pakistani, on the side of being proud of your own origins, family. But don't bow down. You have absolutely no reason. I mean, you have wonderful, rich culture, music, cooking, dance, everything.
Yep.
So no, be proud, be proud.
Thank you.
That's nice. Thank you. Yes, any other question? No one I expect from you at least.
I have one. I was just waiting if someone has that question. It's more on the background of the story. So, how do you process the information? Meaning, thereby, if you take interviews from a certain amount set of people, most likely a simple region, a small region has one point of view, whereas that is not aligned with the masses. So, how personally do you verify the information that you take from certain regions that it aligns with the masses and that is the correct version of that information and not a small set of people who has that view?
Well, the concept of the book was to go to the human being facing. So it was not from any region or if his point of view. I mean, if you read the book, we did not question them on their culture. So to offer them a platform to give eventually a twisted perception of something. It was just the frame was their journey, what they have achieved for others at their level, and how faith has guide. So if you talk about faith, small region, big region, it's still a human being talking about what is animating him. You see, so and nothing is perfect. At what point it's just like when you do a work of art, you always think that the next painting or the next sculpture is going to be much better, but there is a need now of something like this because in Europe they don't know anything about your intellectual. Even for 𝗂𝗵𝗲, the book is starting with the poem of her father, The Dawn. I could have put a French poem, but no, I want to put a Pakistani poem. And I don't know where I wanted to go with the poem of 𝗂𝗵𝗲. Anyway, I forgot where I was going. Sorry. So that's it. That's the statement of all those people. Full stop. Then maybe we'll do a next book. But I don't want to be ethnical or to go in that trap. I don't want to go in that political trap. If you want, building bridges beyond borders, I'm going beyond borders. I just want to show the universality of humankind, of human beings. And after culture was defining you. You are defined by your own culture, I'm defined by, but full stop. But that has to shadow my humanity and the fact that I don't understand you as a human being. You see? As at start, he's an Ismailian from Gilgit. I don't think there is any difference in his approach of life and faith than mine.
That's very interesting.
Can I ask Karim?
Yes, I'm talking a lot, but he's not shy. Huh?
Why don't you come?
Yes, come take the mic. Take the mic.
You can please next one.
Okay.
Yeah, please next.
No, but sit there.
Okay.
No, mic and
Come sit.
Okay.
It's fine.
So you can roast him really a little bit.
What's the question? How was this? Quite an incredible achievement.
Yes.
So, what are your feelings and
Okay.
impression
So
of the journey?
before Christophe, I studied in Karachi. When I completed my intermediate, I thought because I am not Christophe, I want to experience new things. I don't want to follow the traditions. So that's why when I was in Karachi, I completed my intermediate, and then I thought I should, make my studies private, and then I should travel because traveling was one of my interests. And then I came to Gilgit-Baltistan. Then I started traveling. I explored Pakistan. So my vision behind the traveling was to explore the cultures which were not explored before by other people. So then I started my journey from Bazm-e-Aalam, that's my own village, to Chitral, and then 𝐂𝐻𝐾𝐆, then Punjab. I've been to Lahore for the first time in that journey.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you. And then I went to Sindh as well. I want to show a different image of Pakistan, different cultures, different traditions. Because if I'll be in Punjab and I'll keep making videos in Punjab, it will not show the diversity which I went to show. From Gilgit, I was in Chitral and then KP, then Punjab. So the travel series itself shows diversity of Pakistan. So Mr. Christophe was following my journey, and then he contacted me on my Facebook page where I was uploading my blogs. And then we discussed about Pakistan because in the West, if you watch media channels, Pakistan don't have a good image there. So the people as well, people of West, especially people of States and people of Europe, they don't have a good image of Pakistan. So then Mr. Christophe was amazed by the beauty of Pakistan, the culture, especially I was showing through my videos. Then he contacted me, and then he got to know more about Pakistan because of me. I told a lot of things, and then he came to Pakistan. We met in Islamabad, and then we discussed this project. And it was our luck that before he came to Pakistan, he met Mr. Andre, who connected.
Who's the former
he was
diplomat.
he's an angel on earth. Yeah, he's a great person. So he opened his address book, and we had a lot of contacts inside Pakistan, more than 30 to 35. Then we selected 23 people for the book, including Adnan. And then we started the work, and then I got to know more about Mr. Christophe, and then we got along. And then we have written this book. Now we are promoting it. But the vision behind the book is the approach was same. Mr. Christophe, he wanted to show a positive image of Pakistan, and I also. I was also really active on social work activities in Gilgit during the floods.
What's your handle name? So just in case.
AK. You can search 𝐷𝑖𝑐𝑒 on Instagram and Facebook. So you'll get my channel. And during the floods, I went to the families who were affected by the flood, and there were more than 5 to 10 villages. More than 10 villages. In one district, there were 5 villages, in the other district, there were 5. More than 10 villages were affected, and I went to see all of them, and there were no one from the government. And I was really sad. I came back home and I made a video, and that video got viral. And then I thought now I have the power, so I can do something. Then I called for a donation campaign. The celebrities of Pakistan, including Myra and Hania Amir, they donated amount, and then I was able to help more than 10 villages with the donations and with my team there. So that's something I want to do. That's why from Karachi.
The book should have been on you actually.
He's in the book. I think he put a gun in my head and said, I want to be in the book. He deserved to be.
No, I didn't want to be in the book, but then Mr. Christophe insisted, and he said.
I'm so glad that you is also there.
But you didn't really answer because you don't like to answer. You didn't say, do you think it was a weird idea to have someone coming from overseas and to ask you to a book? But you didn't answer completely.
No,
it was a nice cliche thing. Where are you in this story?
No, I don't need to answer it. It's an obvious thing. Everyone would love.
And when I believe, I'm sure that since you appreciate your area, your culture,
that's
so you somehow you propagate or you take pride in your tradition.
Yeah.
When you say that I don't want to follow the tradition, I mean you wanted to say that I don't want to follow the
But he said that he likes to explore.
No, I was not saying I'm not following my tradition. I was saying tradition in a student life.
That's it. Convention. I think you went convention.
Convention,
Convention. So I was talking about. But I am, I'm very close to my tradition and my culture. That's why
I'm sure you are. Yes. Otherwise, why would you even?
Yes.
You would think of going somewhere else,
Even
leaving that
I
place behind.
I had chances to go, but I choose to be there in my region. Now I am, I'm like you. When Adnan was telling me about you, so I could relate. I'm like you. I want to do innovative things. I want to give platform to the youth in Gilgit, especially in Gilgit Valley. In Hunza, you will see a lot of foundations because those people are famous. On social media they have a good
You have this place to you.
Yeah, they have a good marketing, but our people, they are not close to them. Every foundation, USA, French Embassy, or any kind of foundation, even Afghan Development Network, 70 to 80% of the funds are going to Hunza. But mainly the Ismailians and other Muslims, because Again is not just for Muslims, not just for Ismailis, it's for Muslims. And in our area, there are more Ismailis than Hamza, and as well as the sister community. So we were, I'm an Ismailian, so our Imam always, we pray in Jamaat Khana, so our Imam always guides us on, cooperate with your sister communities. If you have, if you have a single penny and you can donate it, forget your community, give it to them, and then, uplift them. He wants us to show the inclusivity. So
he's done it himself.
Yes.
The hospital and university.
That's why I also want to give platforms to youth. Recently, after I had some time because the book was in a printing process, so I thought I should do something over there in my region. I saw a lot of youth. They were in shops talking, gossiping, and they were just playing football and games. But the thing which I realized over there, they have nothing to do. We cannot complain on the youth that they're not doing anything. We didn't provide platforms to them. That's why I thought I should rent out something. And I took a small house, and then I thought I should open a music school. So on the first day, from the village, the population of my village is 1,500 and 2,000 here. On the first day, I had 52 students.
Yeah. You see,
on the first day.
Someone is competing with you.
Because here in Lahore, you will have a lot of culture centers. You will have a lot of options.
But not enough. Even here, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Okay. No, we have nothing. I mean, we have nothing. That's why I contacted 𝗪𝗲 𝗔𝐺𝐻𝗆 and I said, the daughter of 𝐁𝐿𝐵𝐻𝗆, she is advisor to Afghan music. I told her the situation. She said we can do something in Gilgit. So that's why at the end I'll ask for your contact. So I'll see what I can do with you. Because in a region like Gilgit, we really need to promote art. Art and culture. Yes.
Yes, Matt, you wanted to ask something?
Actually, Rahim has answered a large part of my question already. So my question was from Mr. Christophe.
Christophe, call Christophe. Don't say Mr. He said Mr. when you talk about me. I promise you he doesn't talk Mr. on the daily basis.
Okay. So before coming to any place, we carry different perceptions regarding that place. So before coming to Pakistan, what was your expectations that you found different after coming over there? It can be positive or negative at the same time.
That's a nice question. Thank you, Matt.
When I travel, because I'm a big traveler, I never expect anything.
Okay.
So I'm always open-minded. And there, things were so unreal. And I was, the trip was organized so quickly. I met Monsieur Debussy very quickly. So it's just like when I went to Cambodia, I didn't realize that things were happening. Then I was in the plane, then I landed in Islamabad. I mean, he came to pick me up. I didn't know that guy. But I was, in life, I always see the good in any type of situation. I'm not exceptional, I'm just made that way. So it's a chance. I didn't forge myself, or maybe this strong call that I have that makes me confident in the future, in any type of situation. And if you're good, wherever you go, you get the good back. So I didn't have any preconceived idea, except that I was intellectually and artistically and aesthetically stunned. That's, to be honest, because the wall of violence and Christian being burned or whatever, or church being burned, and those, sometimes, and so we have images of big gathering with extreme right Muslims. When you look at it, it's pretty terrifying. No, the only thing that looks weird to me is that when you ask for a visa for the Pakistani, they ask for your religion. And as we are from a secular country, I say that's very personal. That's one thing. And then, if you fly Qatar Airways and everything, regular company. If you fly by PIA, I try to be very corporate. Then you have some verse of the Quran at the start and at the end. And I said, well, that's not, in terms of marketing, it's not good if you want to have tourists, because already you know that you are going to be in a Muslim country. It's okay to be in a Muslim country. I've been in Africa where it's a Muslim country. But they don't impose that in some way, if I say that in the most nicest way. But the rest, it was beautiful. I couldn't stop. When you are high in the mountains, and the sky is there. I mean,
Yeah.
you think God is over there. I mean, you're much closer to Him. And the landscape, the stone walls, the apricot tree, almond tree, it's poetic, and people are so nice. I mean, we spent an evening with all the Ismailian dancing, and you know they put money in your hat. So I was a very good collector of money that I give to them. Of course, you know, giving money to a French guy who's trying to do local dance. That was funny to them. So I made a lot of money that I give to the musicians.
In this event, there were three communities: Ismailis, Sunnis, and Shias.
Yes, you see.
So,
So it's
our
our
village
own
is diverse. Yeah.
And the interfaith, yes, the fact that you get along all together, that is something, an image to carry on, that I want to carry back in France. That would be one of the topics I would defend.
This is very interesting experience to hear. Thank you very much, Mr. Christophe and Karim, for this great contribution. Thank you very much, Christophe, for taking time out, for taking this challenge on our behalf as well, and becoming our ambassador where we could not reach and tell people. And we are very much happy to have you or anyone coming to Lahore. Lahore is always open. It is difficult to find the actual Lahori. Who is the actual Lahori? Whoever says that I'm Lahori becomes Lahori. Even if you come for the third time, you can call yourself Lahori.
I'll come back in April.
Yeah. Welcome back, inshallah. So thank you very much, everyone, for taking time out. You can
Thank you, Jules.
ask questions on personal behalf after this. And those who joined online, took time out. I appreciate their generosity as well. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.